Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. Top of the news today, Joe Biden came to visit New York in the aftermath of the tragic deaths of police detectives Jason Rivera and Wilbert Mora. Predictably, he fell back on the usual left-wing panaceas, namely gun control, federal funding for social services, a small increase in federal money for new cops. You know, the single best critique of the president came from my friend Heather McDonald in a brilliant Wall Street Journal op-ed piece, must read. And I will quote Heather. Expect him to ignore the root cause of record-breaking violence, the demonization of law enforcement to which he has contributed. During his presidential campaign, Mr. Biden asserted that black parents were right to fear for their children's lives at the hands of the police. He said that. On April 12, 2021, the president tweeted about the need to address the trauma that black Americans experience every day from police shootings. On October 16, during the National Peace Officers Memorial Service in Washington, he lamented that the promise of equal and impartial justice was denied in too many communities, black and brown, and that too many families are grieving unnecessary losses of their sons, their daughters, their fathers, their brothers, from police violence. He said that. The problem isn't gun control. New York's got the toughest gun control laws in the country. The problem is New York has one of the worst crime laws in the country. No bail, no jail. That's the watchword here. Biden and Governor Hochul have prattled on about the so-called iron pipeline today, where guns allegedly come in from out of state. They decide to blame Georgia for New York's crime problems. That is just utter nonsense. I mean, utter nonsense, political pap. If they want to blame borders, by the by, how about stopping the catastrophe on our southern border, where over 2 million illegal immigrants have crossed into the U.S., many with criminal records, and they're being shipped around the country in the dead of night to locations where even local authorities have no prior knowledge. There's drug smuggling, sex trafficking, gun smuggling, criminality. Disrespect for borders equals disrespect for laws equals disrespect for cops. Come on. If Biden wants to do something about crime, how about closing our open borders, which is something he has steadfastly opposed doing? If you fail to prosecute recidivist criminals, meanwhile, if you downgrade felonies, including armed robbery and drug dealing, if you let crazed teenage rappers get out of jail after several cop shootings, then you get high crime, a lack of security, unsafe streets, unsafe schools, unsafe businesses, and an unsafe city. That's the problem, not the border between Georgia and New York or Connecticut and New York. Now, most unfortunately, Mayor Adams, whom I have supported, today embraced this crazy left-wing woke Manhattan DA, Alvin Braggs. Huh? Adams should not have done this. Former Mayor Rudy Giuliani has a much better idea. He told Miranda Devine of the New York Post that if he were mayor now, he would invite Bragg to come in and see him, and I'll quote, "I would shut the door and tell him, I want you to write a memo retracting everything you said right now." And then if Bragg refused, Rudy would go after Governor Hochul and start blaming her for every crime and death notice. That would be tough stuff. And that's from a guy who turned New York's crime problem around, indeed turned New York's economy around, in fact, turned the whole city around. It just shows you it can be done. But you need toughness, and you need a good diagnosis and analysis also. Biden said today he was against defunding the police, but in fact, his party made their rallying cry during the 2020 election about defunding the police. Kamala Harris said America should reimagine public safety. Joe Biden called America systemically racist and said police funding should be redirected. As Senator John Barrasso wrote in a column today, Biden has stacked his administration with anti-police radicals. His labor secretary cut funding for police as Boston's mayor. Two of his top Justice Department officials are on record supporting cuts in police. You know, during the riots and burnings and smash and grab lootings of the past 2 years, Democrats have supported the criminals, not the victims. They blame everybody except their own soft on-crime policies. And I repeat my related view that the crime wave is also an economic problem. High crime rates are like tax hikes. People won't go to work. They won't go back into the office buildings. They won't transact commerce. High crime rates, bad schools, high taxes. That's the death of New York City. When Giuliani curtailed crime, he opened up opportunities for new business and more jobs and more prosperity. Now, people won't take the subway. They won't walk their kids to schools, and they won't travel to work in this high crime environment. So I'm saying we need ultra strong leadership right here in the city. We need people who will listen to the thousands and thousands of cops who lined Fifth Avenue twice for the two tragic funerals. Instead of beating up on our police leaders, politicians should listen to them. This is a New York story, folks, but it is also a national story. This is a make or break moment for this city, and frankly, I believe this is a make or break moment for the entire country. And that's my riff.